Yo, Tails, you look a bit too happy to be there, bro. Welcome back, everybody, to a new episode of Benji yelling at cartoon animals. Last week, we talked about our favorite guy, Knuckles, and how his Riz saved the Starfall Island. Joke is dead, Benji. You gotta stop. You just gotta stop it, man. Like, fuck, you're 8, you're almost 19 years old, bro. What are you doing? Now, we are on Chaos Island. And Tails, buddy. Ever since Sonic Forces, nearly everybody has had a problem with how his character has been portrayed. That includes me. Like, bro, what are you doing getting scared of Chaos Zero? You whooped his ass as Chaos 4 and you stopped Eggman from blowing up Station Square. And you could say, oh, it's because he has PTSD from when he thought Sonic died. But he was shaking before that point too. But like, bro, at least square up. Oh my god, dog. Tails became a whole bitch out of nowhere. Now, with Frontiers, it's going to be interesting to see how Ian Flynn tries to fix Tails. And I have to say that Tails is probably the most controversial character in Sonic Frontiers. I don't really think I gotta go into detail with this guy. If you like Sonic, you probably also like Tails. Some people a little bit too much. He was bullied as a kid for having 2 tails, but one day, Sonic saved him from the bullies and he was inspired by him. And Sonic noticed that he was the only one who could keep up with him. The only one who could keep up with him. The only one who could. And since Sonic 2 onwards, they've become best friends, and in current day, they're basically brothers. Tails is smart, having an IQ of 300, being on par with Eggman at a much younger age. He also knows how to make a crap ton of stuff. He's an inventor. And throughout the series, his character seems to have decent progression. In the classics, he follows Sonic around in his adventures. In Adventure 1, he learns that he could be a hero just like Sonic, and in Adventure 2, it seems that he seems to follow through with this. Like, for example, when he thinks Sonic dies, he doesn't like pout or anything, like he gets scared. He pushes on and defeats Eggman. And his character stays mostly consistent, all the way up until Sonic Unleashed, where we see the first crack in the shell. Where it's a small scene where Tails gets jumped by Gaia monsters and he screams, "Help me," right? But listen, whatever, it's a one-time fluke. Then in 2010s, this is where shit hits the fan. I don't think I have to tell you who's responsible. If you've seen all my other episodes, you already probably know. But if you don't, Ken Pontac, Warren Graff, or Pontaf, or as I like to call them, the fucking Nightmare Squad, were responsible for writing the Sonic games. And oh man. To be fair, Colors and Jen's stories were basically so simple it didn't really matter. But when they made Lost World, Tails all of a sudden acts like this angsty teenager, and then Forces are our main culprit. Now, I think in order to understand why people are so pissed off about Forces, we have to look at the appeal of his character himself, right? I feel like, for me at least, the reason why he's such a fan favorite is because he's the underdog of the Sonic series. His dynamic with Sonic is basically like a brotherhood, right? Sonic's the older brother, he's the younger one. And Tails naturally looks up to Sonic and he wants to be like him. The whole song, Believe in Myself, is literally about him wanting to be like Sonic and knowing it's gonna be a challenge. That's why I feel like so many people relate to him, because he has a dream that he wants to accomplish, and throughout the games we see him persevere through different adversities and challenges to get where he is today. That feeling of finally achieving our dreams is something that, we all strive for and relate to. And then in Sonic Forces, they just fucking throw that shit out the window, and you wonder why people are so pissed off. Everything that Tails has worked for is gone. His character was reset back to square one. But now we are in Sonic Frontiers. And what I love about Sonic Frontiers is that we get to see many character interactions, more than in any other game beforehand. So we get to see these characters talk more. And with Sonic and Tails, Ian makes shit personal. Now, if you remember from the beginning of the video, I mentioned that Tails in Sonic Frontiers is probably the most controversial character, or at least the one that people argue about the most. And it has mostly really to do about his character arc in the game. And it mostly starts when Tails talks about the Coco that he's trying to help. And he compares the Coco being scared and lost without his friends just to like how he was when Infinite attacked. Now, personally for me, Tails directly mentioning this was a shock, but that was like the tip of the iceberg, right? Later on, Tails just straight up asks Sonic if he's a burden to him, and this like obviously gets Sonic to, react. And he goes on about how he acts like a coward, and Sonic, fires back, listing times where he was a hero, and then Tails says this:
"Then I'm wildly inconsistent."
That is where most people have a problem. Tails acknowledges his inconsistencies. Now, what I am aware from what people take problem with is that, acknowledging his inconsistencies doesn't really fix the problem at hand. Now, I get that. But the only way I can see them fixing it is if they completely retconned everything from Forces and act like it never happened. And I think that's just a bitch move. And what I think it makes it so special here is that I feel like they did the right thing here, acknowledging the past and acknowledging his, faults instead of sweeping it under the rug like, oh, that never happened. And I get that people are like, oh, but this just happened out of nowhere. Tails is a really weird situation because he went from everything to nothing. And now we're trying to get him back to where he was. So I feel like this is probably the best way they could do it. And because of him, acknowledging all of these faults, it leads to these really cool moments with Sonic and Tails. And these moments reinforce their relationship. By the end of the game, Sonic is able to get Tails out of the rut he's in, due to him knowing Tails and how to reach him. And right there, it just shows the relationship they have. And by the end of the game, Tails decides that he wants to go off on his own and become his own hero. And I feel like that's a good next step for his character. From the beginning, he wanted to be a hero like Sonic, and now he wants to be his own hero. And I think that is a great way to continue his character, and a good way to respect the past games without completely removing them. And that is Tails and Sonic Frontiers. So we have covered the main 3 characters that you save on the Starfall Islands. We are now at the halfway point of the series. And here's why I want to make kind of a big announcement. Next week, and probably next week, I don't know, I'll think about it, there will be no episode for the character of Sonic Frontiers series. I'm doing this because, I have a bunch of video ideas I want to make so that y'all don't get tired of seeing the same thing over and over again. And also, it feels kind of limiting for me to have to make the same type of, video. But, that's what I signed up for, so, get what you get, right? And I also feel like this series, I want this series to continue all the way up to Update 3, just for that. I feel like that'd be cool. And if there's something does happen in Update 3, I'll just make an update video, you know what I'm saying? But don't worry, the series will be back. It's gonna be quick. It's like a 1 or 2 week break, and then I'll be back. And the next episode, I'm not even gonna be like, oh, you know what? I want you to guess. There's 3 characters that could be in the next episode. It could be Eggman, Sonic, or Sage. Which one do you think is gonna be? But that's really all I gotta say for today. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, turn on notifications, comment down below what you think about Tails in this game. I truly think this is the one that people are really mixed on. I really haven't seen this with Eggman or Sage. With yeah, people have their problems, but it's very oh yeah, it's they have problems, but still, it's their character is good. With Tails, people are saying, oh, they should have done this. It's weird for Tails. But yeah, next week I want to do a video that's gonna be it's gonna push my editing skills to the limit. And also, you're gonna get another video. It's gonna be an AMV. I know it's a bit different, but if you know what's going on, you know what's going on. But yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one.